Don't know about those. Thanks again for tuning into yet another video. We'll see. I'm gonna try to ride one more. I don't. My back's really. It's giving me a lot of issues. That RT, that Sport Chief RT, had me just hunched over way too much. I was stretched out way too much. So I'm gonna get back on a touring model. So this is the 2025 air-cooled Chieftain. So this is pretty much the same as the previous years. I really like this bike. I'm not a huge fan of the Challenger. I don't like the way it looks. I'm not a fan of the fairing and stuff like that. But this is a beautiful bike here. Man, my back. So this is the 116 ThunderMax air-cooled push rod Chieftain. It doesn't have the inverted forks like the Power Plus, you know. But man, it's still a good-looking bike. I like the trim. Some people don't like the new Sport Glide fairing, or the Street Glide. Sorry guys, the Street Glide fairing. Some people don't like the new Street Glide fairing. I think I think they did a good job. You know, this one still looks good. You know, it's a little bit more of a round design. You can see, you guys can see the side covers and stuff like that.
All right, Jesse, you remember everything? Got to go through everything with you, stack it around, we're good. You know where to power the bike up?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So anyways, back on point. Let's go ahead and turn this bike on. It's on neutral. What riding modes are we on? Oh, we're on sport mode. Let's keep that on standard. So this is the Dark Horse Chieftain 116. Wow, it's 29,000 MSRP. But I mean, you have the speaker, the speaker lids. You have the upgraded audio. But man, where's the standard? I don't know where the standard is. So we have 100 watts of audio. We have, man, this feels very comfortable. I can never reach these kickstands. I'm 5'7", in case you guys are wondering. So we have, of course, we have the ride modes on this. You have I mean, compared to the new 2024 touring models, of course, you have a massive 12-inch display. But I mean, the Harleys, they have some issues. The OS system is not. They haven't worked out all the glitches out of the as far as the electronics and stuff like that, the features on the new touring models. They still have a lot of glitches. Hopefully Harley-Davidson resolves some of that stuff with, like, I'm hoping they just need an improved processor and some other stuff. But you know, this powertrain has been pretty much the same the electronics has been the same since I can remember on these touring models. So down onto the Chieftain Dark Horse. Like I said, I've ridden this bike before. The bike handles great. I mean how agile the bike is. I can never get used to how agile the bike feels compared to the Harley touring bikes, the Harley touring models. But I mean, it's got a 5.5 gallon tank, which is fantastic. You have LEDs all the way around. Most of the Indians have LEDs. Almost all of them. I believe all of them have LEDs. As far as the Harley-Davidson, they've just barely adapted that this year on the cruisers. But the Road King still has bulbs. All right. What else do we have here? We have, of course, the windshield. Man, this thing is just so light. It is so light, guys. I can never get used to how light the bike feels. You also have, of course, the powered windshield. As you guys can see, electronic. It's neat. It's got the same fairing as the Power Plus. Everything on the Power Plus, I mean on the Power Plus Chieftain, is the same. Everything except for the powertrain. And I believe it might even be a little bit lighter than the air-cooled. But I mean, this has that classic feel of the air-cooled pushrod V-twin, which is, you know, mainly torque. the Power Plus is still a beast. All right, guys. I mean, the Power Plus is always going to be, of course, the ideal performance bike, because you have a lot of the modern, the modern technology, mainly the powertrain. You know, liquid cooled overhead cams. All right, this is push rod technology. This is dinosaur technology. But man, the bike still handles great. I mean, I'm really enjoying the seat. The seat with 2,000 miles, so I'm pretty sure it's already broken in. But the seat's very comfortable. My back is thanking me right now. The Sport Chief was giving me some real issues. But being back on the touring models, I'm upright. Even though the handlebars are down, the handlebars are down low, but I'm sitting upright, so it's very comfortable. On the Sport Chief, which is right here, you guys can see it on my right. It's a good looking bike. You know, the color looks pretty decent, but these saddlebags are hideous. You know, the saddlebags are hideous. This guy looks like he's a little bit more upright, so I'm guessing his arms are just longer. I don't know. Maybe it's his arms. He doesn't look like he's hunched over the fuel tank, but I was. So I wasn't too fond of riding that for about 20 minutes because I'm currently having back spasms currently. So I'm on a leave and I have back patches. So I'm being held together with duct tape today. But man, it's another beautiful day here in the Bay Area, San Jose, California. So anyways, the positioning, the triangle positioning, I really like these longer floorboards because I'm able to shift my feet up and down as comfortable as I see fit. All right, I'm able to shift my feet back towards me, have a little bit of a mid control feel, and then I'm also able to really just move my feet up so I can stretch out my feet, and it's all on the floorboard. So I really like the longer floorboards on the Indians. You're really able to shift your feet as much as you want, so you can get that maximum comfort. And the positioning, like I said, I'm very comfortable. All right, I'm currently dealing with some major back spasms, and I'm just fine. All right, I don't mind it. The suspension on the touring models is fantastic. Like I said, I mean, these bikes are great. All right, they're absolutely great. Even the 116 ThunderMax, which is by far my favorite as far as design and feel and everything like that. I really dig the Chieftain. I really like the fairing, the little updated. Yes, it looks a lot like the Street Glide. It looks a lot like the Street Glide, but you know, it's just having that headlight trim, just those like little subtle details in the fairing. So it's a fork mounted fairing. It's not like the Challenger or the Road Glide. The Road Glides are frame mounted, so that does, you know, change a little bit as far as the handling, because the weight is on the on your handlebars. But I don't think it's anything that would bother most people. I mean, that really depends. And as far as, you know, the fairing moving with the handlebars, you normally don't move your front end anything above 15 miles per hour. You're not turning like this, guys. So the fairing stays relatively straight, I'd say 90% of the time. Yes, like in low speeds, when you're at low speeds and you're moving the bike around, maybe you'll move the fairing, but you're not gonna feel it at those speeds. So as far as, you know, the frame mounted fairing and the fork mounted fairing, I believe it just comes down to the overall design on what you like. And for me, you know, 10 out of 10 times I will choose the Chieftain over the Challenger or the Pursuit. I really like how this fairing looks on the bike. So getting back onto, you know, the feel of the bike, of course, like I said, it's very agile. Like, I'm barely just tilting a little bit, and it just wants to go in that direction. That's why I really like these bikes ever since I started test riding them like 4 years ago or 5 years ago or something like that. I really like how agile the bikes are, how great they maneuver, how light they feel even though they're touring models. You know, they're like above 700, 800 pounds. I really like the way they feel and the way they handle, and you know, having the riding modes really changes the way that the bike feels on top of that. So, you know, everything. It's a great package. You know, it's a great look, handling, the wind protection. We'll test it out again because we have yet to go on the highway freeway, but I've already test ridden this bike a couple times. All right, it's nothing new. It's pretty much the same. I don't think they've done really anything to it other than, of course, the Power Plus, which gives you more performance and better handling because you do have the inverted forks and, you know, stuff like that. You also have the Power Plus, which factory has over 100 something horsepower. It's got the 112 Power Plus. So we're going to switch over to the sport mode in a bit. But man, this bike, it's handling great. All right. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll put it in sport mode around the same spot. Here we go. Here we go. I heard the Springfield behind me revving up, so that's why I kind of felt like I had to give it some throttle. But man, I am so comfortable, even with my back spasms. I can do this for another 4 hours easily, even with my back being all jacked up right now. I feel like I have the ability to just keep on riding this bike. On the Sport Chief, on the RT, which is that one right there, I was done. After 20 minutes, I was ready to get off. I just had to get down and just stretch my back a little bit. I was even thinking about just, you know, calling it quits, but getting back on the Chieftain, I feel like I keep on riding. You know, just a couple more models. I mean, I've test ridden all these bikes already, guys. The only real new ones is the RT, which is that one right there, but it's on the same powertrain as the previous years, and of course the Power Plus Chieftain. It's an also great bike. I like both. I just don't know. I mean, if you were to ask me, I don't know, because I really like air-cooled V-twins. I do. But that Power Plus, man, I don't know. I mean, it's close. You guys let me know in the comments. Which one would you lean towards? Would you lean towards the air-cooled ThunderMax 116 Chieftain? Or would you lean towards the Power Plus 112 Chieftain? I think I would have to go with the 112. I would have to go with the 112. Because of the inverted forks and of course the performance, and I believe it might be a little bit lighter. I'm not entirely sure, but I would lean towards the 112, the Power Plus, especially since it's an Indian. You know, you can't really do much with these 116s. You can't really do much. All right, and since I can't do much with the 116s, I might as well just go for the 112 and just get that extra performance. But you know, back onto the bike and the color. This current color, I'm guessing, is called Storm Gray with the graphics. So this one's 30,000. Oh, it's not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it wants to take off. All right. You guys can see how the front end just kind of picks up. Holy crap. It's just crazy responsive. It wants to take off. It has so much potential in the sport mode. It's crazy responsive. But this current model with the graphics, I'm not sure what that pattern is. I don't know. It's like a cheese grater or something like that. It's got odd graphics on it. I don't. Oh, it's the Indian logos. So the Storm Gray with the graphics is 30,749. It's a good color. It looks like a shark skin blue. I'm pretty sure it's got the pearl in it. It's just, you know, it's cloudy day to day. There's no sunlight, but it looks like it's got a little bit of a pearl in it. So it's really honestly like a shark skin blue with the graphics. So it's got a little bit of that custom color to it too, and it's only an extra, what is that? It's only an extra $700. Is that right? And of course, you also have the inner fairing painted, which is also a plus. But yeah, it's $29,000. The storm gray with the graphics, it's only an extra $749. That is neat. Harley-Davidson, you want a custom color like this? You're looking at easily $2,000 on their touring models. On their touring models, you know, over $2,000, probably $2,200. You also have the blacked out trim, the components, which is, you know, another thing that Harley-Davidson will bill you on. A black trim, I believe that's an extra, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe it's an extra $2,000 for the black trim. So all in all, black trim with the custom paint, you're somewhere around $5,000 with Harley-Davidson. So this is neat. And of course, the Dark Horse Chieftain, that comes standard with the black trim, and of course the added performance. I believe the Dark Horse has the 116 ThunderMax, and the standard. If I'm, you know, like I said, I don't really follow Harley. I mean, I really don't follow Indian. But if they're still doing the standards, I believe the ThunderMax standard is 114, and then of course the 116 is the Dark Horse. It's basically their special. Dark Horse is their special lineup, like you get with Harley-Davidson. But man, the bike, fantastic, guys. The suspension's great. The performance feels just as good, you know, even though it's an air-cooled 116 and it's not a Power Plus 112. It's no slouch at all. It's got a lot of, it still has a lot of get up and go, even though it's, you know, somewhere around 800 pounds, or it might be a little bit heavier than that. I'm not entirely sure, but, and the bike's handling great. And that's what I've always just been fond of how agile the bike feels. These bikes have always been, you know, greatly engineered. You know, it's just I've always mentioned that when I get an Indian, a touring model off the kickstand, I'm just always surprised. It doesn't feel that heavy. Harley-Davidson, on the other hand, those suckers feel heavy all the time. Let's go ahead and let her open her up. You guys can see that wasn't even at full throttle, guys. That was like 60% throttle. This thing takes off. All right, it takes off. So let's go ahead and, I mean, like I said, I am getting a little bit of wind buffeting right now because my windshield is rattling. But if we just raise that windshield a little bit, is that it? Is that the max? Yeah, that's it. Now I'm just getting a little bit of wind noise, just a tad bit, but man, I could do this all day. I could do this all day. So that was just my one complaint last year, or the previous year, just the wind buffeting on the Chieftain, because I didn't know how to work the electronic windshield. But man, that does make an improvement on the wind buffeting. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I don't get that with the Sport Chief. I don't get the wind buffeting, even with the minimal, you know, wind protection. But that varies amongst everybody on your size and on your helmet. That varies. That completely depends on how tall you are and how big your helmet is. So maybe swapping out the helmet, because last year or the previous year I was riding with the Gringo S. This year I have the Speed Bandit, the Simpson Speed Bandit, the Speed Bandit. I have the Speed Bandit this year. So where's this guy taking us? What the heck's going on? So yeah, I had the Gringo S, and that rattled like crazy on this bike, and this had a little bit of that wind buffeting as well. But you know, just raising the windshield, you get rid of that, and that buys you more time to ride. It just depends on how young you are. Can you handle the wind buffeting? You know, I've had some bikes where the wind buffeting was just absolutely terrible, And after 20 minutes of just constant wind buffeting, I was done. I was done as far as the wind buffeting. I was ready to take a break. My back's doing all right still. So the performance, the handling, these bikes they're great. They're fantastic. I've spoken to people at these events that ride Harley-Davidsons, that own Harley-Davidsons, and they're always welcome to change. All right, they always have positive feedback on the touring models, on the Indian touring models. And like I said, I don't own a touring model, so I don't ride one day in and day out. I own a Softail, an A8 Softail, and I own a Sportster. So I don't, I don't ride these day in and day out when it comes to the Harley touring. Yes, I ride them once a demo event comes around, and I do notice the difference. But just having day in and day out riding experience with the competitor Harley-Davidson, then these people really know what they're talking about when I do talk to them. I haven't seen a Harley touring model owner as of yet today, but they're always out here, and this event's going to be on for 2 days, today and tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a couple, curious guys, Harley owners, coming out here and just seeing what Indian has to offer, and they have some really solid options. It's just like I've mentioned in previous videos. You don't have the aftermarket. All right, if you plan on doing zero mods, and like I mentioned, I mean, after 2 years of ownership, you might find yourself wondering, hey, what if I do this? What if I change this? It happens to everybody. I'm going to lower the windshield back down. I think having the Harley-Davidson and having the unlimited potential for mods as far as the engine displacement, it's great. All right, after 2 years, you might grow a little bored. I mean, maybe. You might grow a little bored. I don't think you would grow bored of this bike, but you might get hit with that itch of performance, and you're not going to have a lot of options on the Indians. However, on the Harley-Davidson platform, on the M8, you can do anything. 124, 121, 128, 131, 135, and then if you consider the aftermarket options, Moonshine Harley-Davidson, I believe they made a 141, if I remember correctly. They had a 141, massive, and they even had machined heads and all this other stuff. I mean, there's just, the possibilities are endless on the Harley-Davidson lineup. You could really unlock. I mean, I've seen some folks hit 200 horsepower, 200 foot-pounds of torque on those M8s. All right, you have turbochargers, you have superchargers recently. Blockhead just recently had a supercharger installed on one of his bikes. Well, not his bikes. I think it was a giveaway. I'm not entirely sure. But he had a supercharger, and yes, I know they blew up the engine, or Shade Tree blew up the engine on that. But they have those options. As far as Indian that I know of currently, I don't think they have any of those options. I've seen there's an Indian bike builder on YouTube who's very popular. I was watching some of his videos, and he does the machining for the crankcase for you to put a larger stroke in these engines to really unlock more performance in these air-cooled ThunderMax. All right, it's just not the same. Harley-Davidson, you already have maximum stroke on anything above the 114. The 107 and the 114 are two different strokes. The 114 gives you that bottom end that you could, go up to a 135 without swapping that bottom end. The 107 is different. I think the max on the 107 is a 128. I believe. I don't know. Maybe there's something a little bit more modern. Maybe there's an updated kit out there but I believe with the 107, the max you could go is a 128. Anyways, guys, I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of the Chieftain? It's been relatively left unchanged as far as the 116 ThunderMax. You know, it's a great bike. It's a great touring option. You know, it's a good alternative to Harley-Davidson. But I'm a Harley guy. All right, I've owned Harleys for a long time. I've owned multiple Harleys. So as far as, you know, asking a Harley guy which bike would he go with, I'm always going to say Harley-Davidson. All right, even though I've mentioned it before, like the Challenger. The Challenger handles great, good performance, good overall package from factory, great package from factory. But I would still go with the Road Glide, even though it really is a downgrade, because you don't have the inverted forks, you don't have the, you know, the additional performance. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you don't get. But I would still go with the Road Glide because you have a lot of potential. You have a lot of potential still, and like the aftermarket, that's my thing. I like to modify my bikes. If you guys see my bikes, you guys know I love to modify the bikes. The TFT display is very responsive, and on top of that, you also have like some upgrades with the Road Glide. You know, you have the larger TFT display. You also have the riding modes. You know, they brought a lot of things in the 2024 lineup, and they've also lowered the price. Yes, you don't have the inverted forks, like I said, like you do get with the Challenger and the Pursuit. But man, I would still go with the M8 because of, you know, the drop-in cam options. You have so many options as far as cams, and if you wanted to, you could always, you know, change the heads for larger displacement, and you could do all that at home. You don't have to take it to a specialty shop and stuff like that. Oh, this person letting us go, which is neat, nice of them. And there it is, right there. There's speak of the devil right there. There's a towing model. So let's see how my back handles this backing up of the bikes. So let's prepare for this. Let's prepare for my back. So what's going on here? So here, let's go ahead, back her up. I'm still very comfortable on the bike. Man, the bike is very agile. Wow, that's really responsive. I just grabbed a handful of a brake, and it just super responsive. Man, my back. I can't turn my head. That's how jacked up I am. Like I said, I'm on a leave, and I am on the, what is it called, the solo pass, or solo and pass, or whatever, the back patches. I'm on that right now. I have about 3 patches on my back. Man, this bike is so light, guys, so agile, well engineered. Let's see if we can find neutral. Oh, there we go. Second try. Where's the kickstand? There it is. There we go. You got to make sure that's fully extended. Let's go ahead and turn off the bike. Just like that. Oh, let's get up. Oh, shoot. And there's the speaker lids. Those look like 5 1/4 speakers. I don't think they're bigger than that. Could they be 6 1/2? Maybe they're 6 1/2. Maybe. Oh, crap. But I don't even know if my camera's still recording. There's the front end, of course. The color looks fantastic. It does look like a blue. Oh, my back's jacked. Man, that's really nice. Seat looks great. That powertrain's fantastic. I just don't dig the heads. Those are like domes. But you know, it's just something that's unique with Indian, having those heads. I don't dig them. I like the M8, but man, it's a good-looking bike. This really does look like a shark skin blue. That fairing's fantastic too. Look how beautiful this thing looks. LEDs all the way around. The Indian logo on the back, I mean on the front. The badging looks great. Ah, my back. Man, this is a good looking bike. Just a little bit of a walk around because everybody complains that I don't do walk arounds on these bikes. But of course, standard forks, black trim. The color looks fantastic too. You also have it on the saddlebags, and of course you have the speaker lids on this one. Dark Horse. All of this stuff comes standard. You don't get that on the Harley. You need to get a CVO for this stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Last Risk. Alright. Life's risk out then right. Later.